Hey guys, we have Toro at the End of the Rainbow by Davide Corsi. This is what the box will look like. It's a 78 card deck, a folktale deck mixed with fairies, other creatures, and rainbows that brings you luck. So this is the box. It's not exactly the best box, not very protective, but you know, it's your standard box that you get from the publisher. Opening the box up, you have the cards themselves, the 78 cards, and then you'll get a small little guidebook, which is just like your standard guidebook that you will get from the publisher as well. So here's a look at the box. Again, it's not the best of boxes. Lovely design of the overall theme. With everything out of that box, you get your two standard cards, one to subscribe to get news and everything else, a free card, you get the guidebook there, and then you'll get the cards themselves. So we'll have a look at the guidebook first, because again, it's the standard one that you do get, and as usual you'll have it in multiple languages. Here it's only 4 languages. You will kind of like get a spread kind of dedicated for this deck itself. You get a 2 pages worth of introduction about what this deck is about, so I will leave it here for you guys to pause and read. And here's the remaining page of that. Again, good little introductory meaning of the understanding of what this deck is about, and then it will just go straight into the meanings of each cards. Again, I'll leave everything here as long as I can so you guys can pause and read. And here's a sample as well of some of the meanings of the cards. Again, quite short, nothing so in depth, so it might not be so great for anyone who's a beginner, but if you're kind of accustomed to the Toro system, then it should be perfectly fine for you. And then near the end of that page, like the English version here, what you'll find is where you had the deck spread, it will pretty much be laid here and kind of explain to you what each position of the cards will kind of like represent, and kind of again it gives you brief small information just to kind of like help you to get on your way and how to use that 8 card spread, and that will pretty much be it. So that is the English section of the guide, and then it will just go and repeat the same thing in various different languages. It's only a few pages worth. Here's the cards themselves. The cards are very comfortable in the hands, very comfortable, somewhat slippery a little bit, but overall very nice to shuffle. One thing I did forget to mention in the guidebook, the cards also have the reversal meanings as well. In terms of its size, it's a lot smaller than your standard Toro size. Now I've got it here against the Radiant Wise, and you could see how small it is. And here against the Sexual Toro, again, it's smaller size factor, so it's smaller than your standard Toro size. I pretty much compared it to all of the cards that I have, and it comes out pretty much the same. Here you've got the Universal Toro, and in terms of the quality, it's a very thin card. So it's much thinner than the Sexual Toro, the Universal, and the Radiant Wise as well. So that's to be expected. And here on its own, just to give you an idea of how thin the deck is. So to me, it comes very close to the Sexual Toro deck. It's a lot thinner, but in terms of the stock quality, I think they're pretty much the same. I'll let you guys listen. So yeah guys, so in terms of the stock quality, because it's a very thin card, it pretty much comes close to the Sexual Toro. Yeah, they're almost pretty much identical. Maybe the sexual Toro quality is slightly better, but just by just a small margin. The back of the card is absolutely gorgeous. You got sort of like a floral design. You've got green nature. You got the spiral symbol shielded and like a wheel, and then you've got sort of like indication of the rainbow at the back of the card. It's a very nice design. I really do like it. Again, it's like that folktale sort of feeling to it. This kind of like Celtic sort of background. It looks very, very nice. I love the finish of the card. It's a matte finish. It feels very nice. It's got a very nice texture to it as well. Again, there's so many good things about it, even though it's a very thin card. Beautiful feeling deck in your hands. You could see here, I've tried to put it as close as you can as I could to kind of give you guys an idea of the texture and the quality of it. It is a very nice card to handle. Design looks very, very, very beautiful. Even when you turn it on the other side to look at the imagery themselves, you'll probably get a close idea. You could see there the texture of it. It's very nice. The image really looks very gorgeous. They pop out, plenty of colors and everything. It's a very nice, it's nicely done. The artwork and everything is just brilliant. Underneath there you'll have a border, but the remaining of the card will have just like full colorful image with beautiful sort of like artwork drawings on it. Everything is very clear and colorful. That's the main thing about this. All about the rainbow. It's a very colorful deck at whatever angle you want to put it at. Very, very beautiful, colorful deck. So when it comes to looking at each particular categories of cards, our Major Arcanas, you've got the numerals underneath each of the cards. So it's borderless cards, only borders underneath that will kind of indicate the number. When we look at our suits, that will be indicated to the right side. So you could see here the cups, and then you'll have standard numbers all the way up to 1 to 10. And when it comes to our court cards, again, it will be indicated on the right side what suits it falls under. There you got the cups, and that will indicate the page, the knight, and queen and king. So you'll only have borders underneath the bottom layer of the card, and everything else is kind of like borderless and full image, very colorful. So we're going to jump straight into it, guys. We're going to look at our cards there. I mean, it follows the RWS system as much as it can, but it does add its own sort of like theme throughout. So I'm not really going to talk that much about the meaning of these decks because it's pretty much fairly standard. It's just, I guess, most of it will be based on your intuitive reading of the image and what you get. Here we've got our card number 0, the Fool card. And this card, it looks as though we have a distracted leprechaun. Yeah, it does look like a leprechaun. Walking to the edge of the cliff. So you've got the fairies there that was kind of like distracted him, going to fall down the edge. And then you've got the indication of the rainbow. We have our magician, as usual, who's performing a ritual at his altar, holding a double lit candle. Yeah, so he's holding the candle there, and again you've got your typical sort of like what is above is also below. We have our high priestess standing between 2 trees as opposed to the 2 pillars, but again the symbolisms are still there. One black, one white. She's got a mask over her eyes. We have our empress, the emperor, and the hierophant. Again, this is such a very, very colorful card, and it kind of like represents its own sort of like unique way based on its theme. The empress sits between a field of forests. She also seems to be sort of like holding this massive shield, kind of highlighting her status. Very different. And then we've got our emperor. He's sitting on his throne, and there's this orb he holds in one hand. Again, you've got the rainbow coming out. Very, very interesting. So every card will have a rainbow in its beautiful fantasy artwork that is very colorful and bright. sometimes the rainbow would be dim and other times much brighter, depending on the scene and the card that you're looking at, or a particular color would stand out more. When using these cards, I've had them now for almost a week. The rainbow, most of the time, seems to be the indicator or the main focus point of the scene in the cards, as opposed to what is going on sometimes. The focus on an energy, like you could see here on the Lovers card, the focus of the rainbow on top there, the energy, kind of like the indicator. So focusing on the rainbow, or paying attention to it, it would give you a clue of the journey or passage to what surprises would lie at the path if you follow at the end of the rainbow. There's always an indicator, whether it's like a good news, bad news, again depending on how bright it is. There's kind of like hidden clues within that rainbow that has various messages, an indicator of things that you need to kind of pay attention to. I love this card here. The Strength card is one of my favorite card in this deck. You have a fairy that leans against a wolf, which looks as though for warmth, because you've got all the snow and everything. So the fairy is leaning against the wolf for protection from the cold, and that wolf is allowing that to happen, even though it kind of like looks as though it was hungry as well. And then here we've got our hermit, again very different. The hermit, again, it looks like a leprechaun that's kind of wandering in the forest, and you've got his staff there, and then you've got the light from the lantern, with the rainbow that's indicating there. We've got our wheel, where we have a fairy that's resting herself on top of that wheel, the rainbow colored wings fluttering out. Again, there's very sort of like little indications of those. You don't get much in the booklet, so again, you're having to grab little meanings that kind of will give you a slight hit and indication as to what the meaning is. The Justice card, pretty standard, but I love the way they've done it, the design and everything. So you have the sitting on the golden throne, crown lowered over her eyes. She was holding the scale, and then you had the double-ended rainbow sword, which looked absolutely awesome. We've got our hangman. A fairy here is holding the leprechaun by his boots, and the hangman is kind of like reaching out towards the bucket of gold at the end of that rainbow. So it's followed that rainbow all the way down, that's leading to the bucket of the rainbow. With death card, you got a centaur of death that's kind of like stepping through the forest, and then you've got a subdued sort of rainbow light from the path. So again, and sometimes, like I said, the rainbow, the color itself will be dimmed. Other times it will get brighter. Again, you're following that path of that rainbow that will ideally lead you to a destination, be it hidden, be it revealing something, could be sort of like a helping hand, healing, or maybe like we have here in the Temperance card, by mixing the liquids, you're trying to create a rainbow, or trying to discover a secret of the rainbow, trying to find that balance. The different colors of the rainbow of light presents different perspective, point of view in the deck. Things that we should pay attention, like here in the devil card, as opposed to paying attention to the devil, pay attention to his hat. The rainbow was like your indicator of kind of like the way out. In this deck, the rainbow is a universal symbol that will represent different things in each cards. No different from everyday cultures in the world. So to some, rainbow is good luck. To others, it's a gateway to hidden realms, a bridge between worlds, to the gods, and so on. This deck, I feel, is more kind of Celtic lore. There is a lot of the rainbow kind of element. If you follow its path, it will lead you to hidden riches, where you'll find fairies of all kinds and fantasy worlds. So the deck would in a sense connect you to that fairyland where your story unfolds from different perspective. And that's the key thing here with this deck. The main objective is the different points of view. The rainbow is showing us the multiple ways to look at things, to find solutions by looking from another side where it wasn't so obvious. The rainbow is a good omen in this deck, your guiding light that will help you change something bad into something good if you look closely. So that is what I've come to understand what it means when it's talking about Toro at the end of the rainbow. It's that light in its multiple rays of various different colors that is there to guide you and help you along your journey, to bring you solutions to the various different things, to show you the way. And that's what this theme is about. And even if you were to look at the 8-card spread that it has, that's pretty much what it does. So every 8 position of the card is a different point of view. So you'll have card 1 point of view at this angle, card 2 this point of view, that, and it goes on and on to kind of like highlight that. And it's the same throughout. I mean, you go through all of the court cards. You've got the water here, beautiful design, beautiful artwork, and you're not just paying attention to the cup. Yes, you've got 2 sides towards it, well, several sides. You've got, yes, the Ace of Cups, you've got the traditional symbolism, but yet you have the indication of the rainbow that adds that additional sort of like hint and clue to help you out in the situation, things to kind of like pay attention to. It's an uplifting deck with mixed Irish English folklore, very imaginative artwork packed with tales to interpret. So it's an awesome deck. The rainbow is the lucky charm, the light at the end of the road. If you look here in the cups, the rainbow is coming down and it's just kind of flashing down on the cups. In the 4 of cups here, the rainbow, the luck here, is where you have the 2 fairies bringing that cup that the young fairy can't see. In every image, that rainbow is like that light at the end of the light at the end of the road, that beacon of hope. Anything that has the rainbow is there. It's just like the indicator of, hey, over here, this is the way to come. Like here in the 5 of Cups, where is the rainbow? It's all the way at the very end there. He's looking at that rainbow. He can see the rainbow. He just needs to go towards that rainbow and follow that path, and you'll end up at the end of the rainbow where you'll discover your fortune. In each and every one of these images that you look at closely, where is the rainbow? You've got the two child there, and at the back you've got where the cups that is standing on the wall have the various different colors of the rainbow highlighted. It's hidden. It's, you have to look very closely. It's kind of like a little game, a little discovery. Look very closely. Can you find the rainbow? It will kind of like highlight a lot more. Here, the rainbow bursting out, again indicating its luck, the fortune coming out of there. The cup that has it all, out of all of the others to choose from. And again, you had the fairies there, that's got their different sort of rays of colors on their wings as well. Here, leaving the cups behind, he's heading to the rainbow there at the far ground, following that. That's the journey to take, and he's leaving the cups behind. We have the 9 of Cups in the background. The entrance lit by the rainbow revealed the hidden cave to the riches. And then you've got, whereby following that, it kind of led you to what one was looking for, reveal the secrets, but also provides the way out. And then in our 10 of Cups, it's a beautiful card. I love how the cups rides down the rainbows, bringing down the cups, giving you that blessing that you wished for. So coming down from the heavens, just blessing you, good news and celebration. And then we move on to our court cards. We have our page of cups, a giant that is resting, looking after his cows. The rainbow is kind of like reflected within, which is indicating that you need to look inside of you, basically to follow your heart. That's where one needs to pay attention. We move on to our Knight of Cups. Slightly ever different. You've got riding on the back of a frog. Her wings has the rainbow attached, which is like the indicator of the driver to her passion. We move on to our Queen of Cups sitting on her throne. You can slightly see her crown. I'll just go up in a second. Her crown is glowing ever so faintly of the rainbow. Again, not all of the colors, but there's bits of it with her eyes closed. So the indication of deep empathy, divination, and like a pleasure seeker. We've got a dwarf king, sits on his throne made out of living trees. The roots are soaked in the rainbow energy water. So there's a lot of emotional responsibility and unconditional flow of love as well. So that was our cups. We have our pentacles next. Again, they all have indication of the rainbows in them. So we've got our Ace of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, Three of Pentacle. And again, they'll have the traditional standard symbolism within them, which is kind of like their own little added theme. Our Ace of Pentacle, you've got a pedestal holding the golden coin at an entrance. The rainbow gives the feeling that this is a sacred place. Whatever is behind that entrance has resources awaiting you. The Two of Pentacles, a fairy using magic to balance the two coins. The rainbow seems to appear around the coins in the air. It's the source of keeping them aloft. So using the magic of the rainbow to focus and grow one's skill. Our Three of Pentacles, three trolls sitting around the fire, sharing of stories. The rainbow flames rise into the sky, so it keeps the standard meaning of working together in harmony and teamwork, and that's been supported by the rainbow. We've got our Four of Pentacles, and then we've got our Five of Pentacles. Our Four of Pentacles is a leprechaun that sits on top of a rainbow, a mushroom rainbow, holding on to the coin, and he's really focused on it. This one will go by, I guess, the traditional meaning of either you're hoarding one's resources, struggling to hold on to power, and you need to freely let it go. The rainbow in the mushroom was full and stagnant, needed to be free. The Five of Pentacles, a frozen fairy sits outside a gate building. The rainbow colors of the door is inviting, but she cannot see it. So, you know, she can't see it. Instead of just waiting there, she should kind of like knock on the door, because it is welcoming, not being afraid to ask for help. We've got our Six, Seven, and Eight of Pentacles. Our Six, pretty standard, sharing of coins with two young fairies. Now the horn shines with the bright rainbow, so that's kind of like the indication of a genuine balance of donation, genuine receive and exchange of gift. Our Seven, again, is very well done, pretty standard. A farmer seems to be surveying his land. Dim rainbow lights in the dusty sky in the back. The farmer can be proud of his successes, of each coins that was placed on the tree there to enjoy. Our Eight, We have a watchmaker tinkering with a clockwork item. The rainbow color filtering through the window behind him, illuminating perfectly. It takes various things for that to happen, or for that to produce that effect. No different from one learning to perfect their skills, just like the watchmaker there. Interesting 9, standing again, pretty standard, in the lavish garden, but with a dragon rainbow as a companion. So that sense of spiritual happiness surrounded by luxury and the status accomplishments. We have our 10 of Pentacles, strange one, with fantasy looking family that are sitting on a stone sculpture. Aura lights in the sky, brilliant colors, the indication of the rainbow there. Looks like a completion. Well, I'll go by the traditional completion, relaxing, enjoying the moment. We've got our page, a satyr, holds a coin in their hands. You have also carved runes into the stone, so causing the rainbow energy to appear. So I guess it needs to be, it's calling out to be more observant, to focus on what actually really matters. Our knight, a gnome knight, so cute, on the back of a badger. The hidden rainbow is around his waist, tied on tightly, so you could see he's being cautious in all that he does, and even in the movement, so establishing trust. And wow, our Queen of Pentacle, very earthly. I love how she has fashioned her throne, very nicely done. The necklace in rainbow design. So again, the chair, how it branches out, it has that nurture and compassion feeling to it, as it should, being the Queen of Pentacles. Our king, again, you have an orc that sits on his throne. The rainbow design appears in the back of his seat. So it's kind of like a blessed, a backed and supported foundation, stability, and he looks like a reliable leader as well. Moving on, we have our wands. We got the ace, 2 and 3. Our ace of wands, we have a stone carving that's gripping a dual wand in a forest or field. A rainbow spans the length of the sky from left to right. So the creative insight is, I presume, is sparking from that. 2 of wands, a goblin that holds 2 wands while looking out to see what's going on in the horizon. The globe has the rainbow on it, so pretty much standard meaning of making plans, or something, an arrival or brainstorming. 3 of wands, you got a Nordic scout looks out over the mountains for a sign. The 3 wands carry the rainbow around each staff. That is dim, but it's there. Being prepared, exploring one's surrounding. Love the energy of the 4 of wands. A companion dance under ceremonial decoration taking place. The rainbow in the background is blessing the occasion to what is a solid foundation, setting the stage. Very beautiful. I love that one. We have here 5 of wands, a goblin fighting a group of rainbow wings sprites. They are fighting over whose territory is. Again, standard conflict meaning and confrontation. The rainbow on the wings is saying to rise above disputes. We've got our 6 of wands. I have to say, the wands in this deck are proper wands. They're massive and strong, the size of them. So you've got riding on a fox through the forest. The fallen leaves in rainbow colors is pretty much honoring you. It's a victory passage. I love the 7 of wands. We have an elf who is defending themselves or the land from the dark wand's attackers. His wand is powered by the rainbow to protect the area or himself. Pretty standard meaning there, but it's well done. It's very nicely done. Same with our Eight of Wands. Again, nicely done. A fairy looking up to the skies. The Eight of Wands, heads down. You have two rainbows appearing on the two sides of the little island she's on, providing her supporting brace for the change that is to come from those wands that is rushing down. The Nine of Wands looks good too. It's well done. You have a troll who guards the entrance of the layer. He holds his rainbow wand empowered by the magic, and he's prepared for combat. So very resilient here. Nicely done. I like that one. Ten of Wands, it's okay. Pretty standard in carrying the wands. The rainbow in the sky is showing the way and how far you are, helping you to choose wisely as to, you know, what direction to go if you're going the right way. But it's also an indication to not give up and to be determined. Now we have a strange page. I honestly don't know what's going on here, but you have a kind of a massive tree that is standing in front of the forest, rainbow butterflies hovering around. I guess he's the watcher, protector. But what the rainbow stands for here, I honestly don't know. I haven't worked that much with that cards. Again, I've had this for like a week, so I haven't really gotten used to that one. We've got the Knight of Wands, a person sitting on the stag. He's one in one hand, ready to ride out. The rainbow in the sky looks fresh, so the person could be riding out for an adventure to discover what's at the end of that rainbow. I like the way they have done the Queen and the King here. Our Queen of Wands sits on her throne looking out. Rainbow ribbons, beautiful bound, her hair, her stance. You can really feel how she is in her power, the center of the attention for sure. The ones in this deck, I have to say again, they look like a very powerful tool of support. I love it. The King, very different, comes across. He's handed out his wand as an offering. His crown is shimmering with the rainbow colors, so he's showing his power of trust. His throne as well, it was very earthly with the kind of like massive leaves. We look at our last suits. We've got the beautiful swords. So we've got our Ace of Swords, a stone-like hand holding the sword, golden grip. You have leaves falling, indicating the season change taking place with the rainbow in the distance. It all has that freshness to it, clarity, being a sword, mental clarity, truth, an inspired idea being revealed. Nice Two of Swords, a fairy looking downwards with two swords crossed her body, rainbow in the horizon. Looks like she's protecting herself with the crossed swords, but also like she has been there for far too long and needs to pretty much get unstuck. Interesting Three of Swords. I don't like it personally because it's like a rooted branch with the swords pierce into this kind of Celtic knot. It's depressing and looks like a lot of hard work and healing is going to be needed to get these out. But the message is strong in terms of heartbreak or betrayal. Rainbow gemstones is to help you heal. That was there. Love the Four of Swords. You have four priests standing at the resting tomb with swords in hands. Carved winged person in response. The rainbow light is filtering through trees to shine on the grave. That looks pretty cool. Standard meaning here of resting, contemplation. The Five of Swords, two fairies resting on the grass with a third one hovering over them with rainbow light swords, very vivid in colors, attacking them. They look hollow, so I guess a hollow victory. Difficult situation, again standard in meaning. I really like the next cards. Our Six of Swords. We have a fairy that's driving her boat through six large stone swords through clear, calm waters with rainbow filled in the background in the sky there. Again, standard meaning of moving forward, adapting to situation, going to somewhere better. We've got our Seven of Swords. Again, nicely done. A troll sneaks out from an entrance. Clearly have stolen 7 swords. Each sort of like is hued from the 7 colors of the rainbow. Standard meaning here of deceit, stealing what is not yours, trickery, and so on. The 8 of Swords, I love the artwork here. A female wandering barefoot in the snow, blindfolded. But it's very interesting how the colored string rainbow has tied her up. What we have to remember is the rainbow is not a negative energy, so she should be able to untie herself easily, take the blindfold off, and navigate through the swords. So yeah, pretty standard. I like it. Amazing 9 of Swords. That is done pretty good. Quite scary. Not knowing whether this dragon is good or bad, hard to tell. And cowering in fear. And the rainbow necklace is there to kind of like help you, to show you the way to release any kind of anxiety and pretty much simplify the situation. What's happening here? 10 of Swords, especially on the rainbow itself, but what has happened here is, imagine your normal defeated 10 of Swords on the ground, dead body. The rainbow has come and lifted you up from the losing hope and giving up. And that's the important thing about this deck, again, that I need to kind of like repeat if you're going to be working with it. For every card that you guys have seen, don't take it at face value. Approach them from the 7 points of views. And the 7 points of views is the 7-colored perspective. So you have instinctive, which is red, subjective, yellow, long-term, green, ethical, indigo, spiritual is the violet color, rational is the blue color, emotive is the orange color. So those 7 colors of that rainbow is kind of like getting you to see perceive things from 7 different points of view, not just from one point of view, or to use the combination of all of those, which will end which will lead you to the unknown, or to the end of the rainbow, to something different, something unexpected, or something magical and surprising, each different colored perspective. So when you're reading these cards, sometimes you need to go in there, and I have a habit of, with the traditional Rider-Waite in my head all the time, and all the verse image, viewing it not like that, and just paying attention to the different things. So here we go. That's it, guys. So that is the look of all of the cards. We're going to do a flip through here. Hope you guys enjoy the flip through. So yeah, guys, there you go. That was the Torah at the end of the rainbow. Beautiful card design at the back. Quality of the card, the texture of it is very nice. It is on the very thin side, but believe me, it's a lot better than the Dancing in the Dark. It's a better quality card, even though it's thin. It's not rubbish. Here's just kind of like to show you, and you know, it's again, it's a different texture. It doesn't feel cheap. And yeah, so it's to me personally, it's a great card, very colorful, a positive deck full of vivid colors and energies, Rider-Waite-Smith traditional symbolism intact. It's got a lot to offer, various stories, various different perspectives. So yeah, I love this card. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video and look out for the next one. Love and light.